In the 14th century, England was a land of villages. Only a few souls lived in true towns, fewer than 1 in 20, in fact. Yet along the great roads and river crossings, change was stirring. Trade routes, castles, and cathedrals sowed the seeds of bustling markets and new communities. East Grinstead was one of these rare towns, born from the worn path of ancient Roman road connecting London to the southeast coast. Its life flowed with the clean waters drawn from deep sandstone wells, and its fortune grew with the travelers and merchants who crossed its ridge. East Grinstead had a very humble beginning in 1220 with its first market, where farmers and craftsmen could trade by royal permission. Though its charter has been lost to time, the weekly bustle of the market days soon echoed through the streets. By 1350, this humble town had barely 250 townfolk, with 700 more scattered across the surrounding countryside. In 1340, King Edward III granted it to Reginald Cobham. Okay. As a reward for valor in the 100 Years' War. But the Baron rarely walked Cobham. But the Baron rarely walked these streets. His manor lay 3 miles away at Lingfield, leaving East Grinstead to grow on the labor of its people, merchants, farmers, and craftsmen forging a fragile town in a hard and changing world. Today we rebuild that story, one log, one market stall at a time. Alright, here we go. Challenging difficulty on the winding river map as the one and the only Cobham. Let's take a gander at what we have going on. We have animals here. We got fishies over here. Got ourselves a nice little lakeside resort thing going on. This is perfect. So we're going to be building the city that I'm going to be popping up on the screen right now. This is a very small town. As I said, only about 250 people. I think this is a fun little thing that we can build together. I have some ideas. I know the picture is a bit meh, but we're going to build this to the best of our ability. I'm going to be throwing out all my optimization, making them long, stringy plots, focusing on the historical accuracy of this small English town. I think where we are is actually a beautiful location for the majority of everything that we are going to be trying to do. So we're just going to build a straight up road based on everything we see going on here. It looks like it kind of goes into the road that curves off in this direction. Perfection. So let's get our road. I think we're going to have our road going like so. And then I'm going to have it kind of curve just like it does in the image, so I can get the same kind of aesthetic and feel. We're going to connect it just overall throughout all these areas. This is beautiful. And yeah, we'll just have kind of a natural process going on. So that leaves our artisans here, our farmland here. Now we do have a rich clay deposit, which is the only rich deposit we have, meaning we have the best farmland in the game, which I think is perfect. One thing that I see in this picture of this village is that the farmland goes after the Burgage plots. So we're going to have farmland extending out in all directions. We're going to have to take some artistic liberties. There are going to be some little areas like this where we're going to want to get the clay and those kind of things. So let's see how we can incorporate this. What I think we're going to do is have an interesting little road. I think what we're going to do is have everything kind of go like this. And then we'll have the housing on the side. And this will just be our little addition to the village. That's perfect. Everything here is looking good. Boom, boom. We can also see that there are roads going down like here. And that there are roads going down like here to connect to this spot. This is perfect. We're now going to think about the future here. We're going to think about what Cobham would like to do. I would move my animals probably over here or over here in an area that I'm not going to be building these houses. So the easiest way to move your animals, go to the cosmetic and use the shrine. This is because the shrine doesn't destroy as many trees as other methods. As long as you don't place it on a tree, it won't destroy it. So place it down, we'll move it with one. Moving animals can actually sometimes cause glitches, so you need to be a little careful. That's exactly where I wanted it. We can keep all our food kind of localized. Now what you want to do is just hit tab and go through and delete all of your shrines. So the great thing about having all of our houses kind of laid out like this is we can just start going right now. We want to build 3 double Burgage plots as fast as possible. We have 8 wood in total. You can see it costs 6 So I can only build 3. This is a problem. We need to get everything up as fast as possible. I'm actually going to place the woodcutter here. That's 2. We have 3 more left. We're going to build 3 single burgers plots, and we're going to make them long. Very inefficient, but exactly as we see them in the picture. So we'll do this right here. Get 3. We'll get this up, and we'll keep going. The next thing that we're going to do is start building a second hitching post and immediately order an ox. I'm going to boot up the priority on this to very high just so we don't have any issues. When the ox arrives is a little varied. Now keep in mind that if you get all of your people in the housing, your approval will shoot all the way up to 50%. And as we saw in the future patch, which I have no idea when it's coming, they're going to alter all the game mechanics in the game anyway. So just sit back and enjoy the story of Beast Grinstead. Alright, we're going to speed this up real quick. Everyone's doing a fantastic job. Now, what's interesting about a plot like this, I'm not exactly sure how much. We're going to have a pretty high inefficiency, but we can kind of get an idea of how big these are. So this is 0.3 Morgans. So about 0.25 Morgans or 1 corpse pit's going to net you around 45 veggies or 45 apples. So I would say about each of these is going to net us 30. So that's not too bad, but it's also not great. But you can see in this design that almost every single one of these is going to be a long, stringy veggie burgage plot. And this is going to give us that authentic feel of what towns actually look like back then. And while the game doesn't encourage this mechanically, it also doesn't technically punish you from building like this. But if you are a freak like me, it hurts your soul in a deep way that you don't recover from usually. All right, perfect. Okay, so we're going to place 2 individuals into the logging camp. We're going to boot up our work area to about... yeah, we don't have to worry about berries or any of that jazz. Got our wild animals over there. We are eventually going to need to get food. Right now, I want to get up as many of these houses as possible. So we're going to keep everybody out. Now, another thing that I want to do is I do want to start on my artisan houses. And by artisan, I mean the houses that are going to have weapon production. You want your industry buildings to be some of the first houses people move into so that you can immediately move into creating bows. Because we are on the harder difficulty, we don't have any weapons or anything coming in. So in order to get this nice little feel, I'm going to have to do some things that are a little weird. But overall, awesome. So we're going to be using the corpse pit once more to create this little back road area. Now what this is going to allow us to do is do perfect burgage plots. And behind these areas, per the picture, we're going to have a church and a bunch of shrubbery. Now, we can't put shrubbery in the game, so we'll use a forester to make this look all nice. But what I think we're going to have here is a back road coming through this area here. And we're going to have our church area. Wow, not bad. Taking up the majority of this area over here. So we're actually going to delete this road, and I'm going to pull this in a little tighter. And this is going to give us a cool little area for the church, and a middle zone for market stalls and artisan buildings. This right here is going to be, of course, the main road. We're going to place 3 people in the logging camp. Right now we have no logs. We're going to speed this up. Now, I may have some issues because if I can't get everybody into... I can't get the 6 houses going, we're going to have a problem. Make sure they're not building the corpse pit. Another problem. Alright. So this single burgers plot with back point extension. You can even do a double burgers plot if you want and just don't expand it. These are going to be really long. They're going to be very inefficient, but it's still going to be a beautiful thing for us all.
Hey, bring that piece over here.
Speed this up just a tad bit. We may not get our second family just because of the nature of everything that's going on, and that's okay. We'll still get to where we need to go. Yeah, unfortunately I hit a couple of weird bugs and I did not get wood coming in. Very odd. Okay. So we're going to build our first artisan. Now I'm going to take the snap to road tool off. That way I can get this perfect size with the backyard extension. This is probably going to be a bowyer. We're probably going to start making some bows for war. Now, my hope was to get 6 of these small houses up. It's typically why I go for 3 double burgage plots. So this is actually a little bit of a new thing that I'm trying here. We're going to continue trekking along with this in mind. We're going to want a boot maker. And we know in the future patches, you're actually going to have to pay maintenance on these buildings. And that's going to really change the game. So now you can see that we have the potential to do 6 houses. Perfect. These are all going to be industry buildings. We unfortunately have to make them in a period of time, which is rather impossible. So we will not get... Okay, cool. We hit 50% even with only the 3 houses. I would have to build enough by the next day. We still have a potential to get the next family in the coming month. It would have been advantageous for us to do so in the first month. But you know, when your name is Rumham, you should just anticipate bad things are going to happen. Alright, we're going to put our hunter here. And I'm also going to start building a fisher out next. And we're going to try to get the granary and a couple other things. Now for this area, I'm going to do my own little addition to the build to make it just operate in a way that I think is better. We're going to do something like this. And we're going to place a granary in between these points. We're going to speed this up real quick. Awesome, awesome. Get that wood. Now that we have the wood, I'm going to place the fisher hut right here. Now the next thing that I want to do is get up the granary. Now don't upgrade the granary. You have just enough stone to build your church, but we will need some boards. So I'm going to place the granary. I want to place it in an area where it can get everybody over here too. But I think that this is a happy little medium right here for the granary. Now you don't need to worry about your market stalls really, because as long as you have the food in the granary, they eat it from there first. That's the way that the new mechanics work. So now I'm going to pull back. We already did on the logging camp. We're going to focus on getting all these houses up. We're going to focus on getting an individual into the hunting camp. And this is a normal deposit, so 10 and 10. Perfect, perfect. That's a good distance. It should be able to get over there just fine. The fisherman's hut up, we'll get that going too. Get a person into the granary. I do know that all of our tools are rotting on the ground, and we probably lost our tools already. That's unfortunate. Family is hungry. Well, a family's going to have to wait. Alright. And another thing that we should start doing is getting up the first market stall. So once we get all the families out, I'm going to just put a market area up over here for now. Got our nice little ox moving everything along. The town is very, very awesome. We got our first development point. Probably going to put that in the apples. We're at 46%. We can recover from this. But the introduction is very modest. Alright, the logging camp's doing well. I'm going to put one more dude in the logging camp so we can start getting everything in. We have enough room for the one family. So what we're going to do immediately is do a vegetable garden here and a vegetable garden here. Start getting those things going. Very inefficient, but this is exactly how they worked, because the ox would come in and plow the land really quickly for each person. It also capitalized on how much housing you could have per area of road. Just made moving around really easy and gave everyone enough room to grow all their vegetables. Alright, so we got meat coming in. We now are going to get up our little fishing area over here. Oh, looks like they gave up halfway through. No, we need one more piece of wood. We'll be in good shape. The families won't go hungry for too much longer. The granary is almost up, just needs to be built. I'll put that to a high priority. Alright, granary up. Let's put one individual in there with the market stall. Start getting food availability so we can get this approval up. Now, building like this has a lot of drawbacks because a lot of people are working in the fields instead of doing their jobs. And so, we're going to have just a different start than what you're used to seeing on my channel. But we have backyard extensions. This is it looks pretty darn close to what we're seeing in the picture. I am going to move the stalls over here. And I think I'm actually going to move this here. Perfect. We have a lot of logs. We got everything going. Connect these road pieces and get this looking pretty. Alright, we got some stone on the ground. Church is going to go back here, and it's going to look awesome. You can see already that the town is coming along real nicely. hitching posts move. So all we really need to do is focus on getting all these nice little buildings up. And over here, we can start doing some other things. So at this point, I would like to get a storehouse up right here. This is going to be a modification to the city design where we have an industrial area in the middle. It's actually a pretty smart way to do it as well. We'll get the storehouse up. That will allow us to start getting closer to getting a saw pit. So let's get the saw pit up here too. Keep the logging camp, the saw pit, storehouse all in a nice little neat area. I think this is great. We have both of our ox now. So once I get the storehouse up, we'll be in good shape. Look at that, hit 50% and got our second family. So I was able to recover by getting the granary up. We're going to get one individual into the fisher hut. This right here should bring in just enough food for all of us. We're going to place 2 people into the logging camp. We have 1 free family to continue building. If we want to get additional families, we will also need to get a house up as soon as possible. So let's get 1 more of these. And we're going to keep their back lots uniform, just like we see in the picture. There we go. And we're going to highly prioritize this. I want to make sure that we can get our family at the beginning of June. So we're going to go ahead and up the speed real quick. Another thing we want to do is get a fuel stall up as soon as possible. Storehouse has a slot for a worker. So once this house is built, I will put him into the storehouse. And then the next family can continue building for the next family. Essentially, we'll just leapfrog with the families. All right, we got ourselves another plot. Put him into the storehouse. Now we can get some firewood outside. There are a couple things that need to be built, but right now we don't have the workers for them anyway. So I'm just going to try to keep our approval rating up as high as possible. We have enough wood for 7 months, which means that we'll get a couple more families, and then we can move people around in that regard. Fishers are doing great. Now, we only have 1 fisher, and I'm not too worried about going into the mechanics of fish. 120 is actually honestly fine. He's never going to fish that much down. Usually you want to do it to 2/3, but we're going to do it to 1/3. Simply because he can't do it anyway. Alright. And hopefully we get like a little bit of veggies off this. Like I said, highly inefficient because they have to walk back and forth a really long distance to get to the point of drop-off. They can only carry so much, so they have to come back, drop it off, and hike all the way back out to pick up more veggies. But unfortunately, it does look more historic, right? It does look, the aesthetic is nicer. Alright. Alright, so we have our road systems up now. And just to make this a little bit more uniform, we're going to get the grids going here. A tad bit, but once all this is cleaned up, it's going to look nice. Alright, another army was sighted. So we're getting close. So he's going to be going to take a bandit camp. If I just had 1 or 2 units, I could do something here. We need to get 2 food types as fast as possible. We need to get the church up. We need to get the clothing stall up. So once we get our next individual... Oh, it shot down. We missed getting another individual. That's okay. We'll get them. So the logging camp, I'm going to pull 1 individual out. We're going to get that saw pit up. We're going to get the church up. We're just going to shoot straight for the church. There's another way actually to get everything up, and that involves getting the leather maker up, but also getting 2 food types and getting a woodcutter up, which we need to do anyway. So let's get a woodcutter's lodge up. Put it right here. Nice, saw pits up. Now we want to put an advanced tab production limit on timber. We want to keep at least 6 timber in my opinion, and planks we're going to do all the way up to 40. So I think we're going to actually put him into this. Let's just shoot for the leather maker. I think that would actually be pretty smart. We have just enough food. You can see we're bringing in a little bit of meat. We've actually hunted down all the animals, even being this far away. It's pretty impressive. We should have 2 food types. Yes, we do. We should have fuel. It looks like we ran out, though. So we'll get some fuel going here in a second as well. The woodcutter's lodge is up. I'm going to pull this gent out of the logging camp. Get the woodcutter going. Again, just try to get as many bonuses as we possibly can. We're pulling in logs now. We can come down here and see what's going on. The animations in this game are pretty impressive. As I say that, the ox gets glitched out on the cart. But they really are. And they are doing an entire pathfinding update right now. So the game is going to be only more and more impressive as time goes on. We now have a ton of boars. she is unloading into this storehouse. And this is going to allow us to build a tannery. So now we can get the tannery up. We're going to place the tannery right here for the time being. We can move this stuff at a later point.
We'll need to lift this
So let's
beam.
speed up, get the tannery, get the woodcutter, and then figure out how we're going to survive. So the church in this is a little bit off, and it has some cool roads going around it. So we're going to try to place the church in the same way that they did in this picture and get the road system going all around it. I really like the way that they did it. So it looks like it was right up against the backside here. But in this one, there is a gap for housing and a gap for markets. It's a little crooked. So the road is not straight in this. It's, let's get the road looking like it does against the backdrop of this church. Yeah, it kind of angles. So we can mess with the markets. We can actually, here's what I want to do. I want to get rid of the market stalls here. I want to get all this stuff off the ground. I want to build this stuff all up proper. Now the church, in my opinion, in this is kind of like this. And then in the picture, it's got roads going behind it, roads around it, and then a nice cool little V. So we're going to keep this. We're going to try to like curve things just a tad bit. I think if we want to make this look a little bit more authentic, I'm going to take an artistic liberty here. Yeah, there's a little middle area. There's a little middle area here, just like what we have in the design. And I think that this is where the market should go, just like that. So now we can get the market stalls back up in this little area right here. I'm going to wait for all of these supplies to be picked up. I'm hurting myself because we're going to get a massive approval loss, but that's okay. We're going to put one individual into the woodcutter. I'm not going to define an area. I'm going to take this guy out of the saw pit now. Have him start building up the church. We're going to be back up into a nice little place here in no time. I'm not too worried. Perfection. Look at that. We got ourselves the church now. It's going to shoot us way above where we need to be. We got leather coming in. I mean, things are really starting to shape up now. Got some more burgage plots being built for housing. This is great. Now, what we need to do is just get ourselves up over 50%. We're at 13th of August. Beginning of next month, I think we're going to jump up and get that 7th family. And now we can really start focusing on the next thing. So we have 2 types of food. We need to get water access. We're going to put ourselves a well. Oh, nice. Very nice. We can put a well. I'm going to put it right behind the church back here. Another reason to go see Jesus. You can drink water. All right. There we are. Put the well right there. Perfection. Everything's coming along real nicely. And then we're going to upgrade potentially. This guy right here actually would be the perfect because he's right next to the storehouse. And I'm going to move this stuff eventually and put a trade post. So let's actually do that right now. I'm going to move logging camp further inland. I should actually move this somewhere else, maybe over here, because my woodcutter does not want to compete with the logging camp. So let me actually redo that. And we're going to place these gents over here. I like to place my trade post right across the street from the storehouse. This also is going to be an area where there's logging and that such. So the woodcutter camp should actually be going up here to cut logs, I believe. We could put it anywhere that we want, really. Yeah, let's put him up here for now. Put him up here. Logging camp will move to. And I think the trade post will actually go somewhere over here. And that will be great. We'll have the trade post inside this area. That'd be fine. Fine and dandy. Okay. So the well is almost up. It is now up. We're going to pause the game. So we need to get a Boyer workshop. We need to get some money. So we're going to need to get the trade post up pretty much right now to get some money. All right, 55%. We're going to be able to attract that next family at the beginning of the year, most likely. Logging camp. Move the logging camp over here like I talked about. Perfection. All right. Got everything that we need. 100% on everything. Oh, it dropped down. It always does this. It averages in the previous month. One more month and we're going to have it. Don't worry. Once we get a little bit more trees, we can keep moving along. All right, 54%. Bump back up. All right, trade post time. So we can put the trade post right back here. I want to keep it facing a nice way between it and the storehouse. I could place it like this, but I really don't like it. So I'm going to place it a little further back like so. It's going to be a little unique in that regard. But that way, it's got an easy angle to the storehouse. Now, unfortunately, you cannot move a storehouse. You have to completely destroy it. I think this is fine. There's going to be a little bit of a gap on the trade, but we're going to keep it just like that. Looking nice and sharp. Got a nice little cut corner back here. I'm going to do my little, not totally straight, but straight line behind it. Give it a little charisma. All right, look at that. We got ourselves our 7th family. We're finally in business now. So we just need a little bit of cash. Once we get some cash, we got ourselves a boyer workshop, and we can go get some money. Now, we need to get our trade going. I think one of the first things that we're going to start trading is potentially boards and potentially firewood. So we got to get our woodcutter lodge going up top. We have no free families. We have plenty of room for people to move in. That's fine. We need to focus on maintaining our percentage points anyway, so we're just going to take a quick break from building. Beautiful. Got ourselves another freaking family. Perfect. So look at us go. We got ourselves a trade post, so let's put an individual into the trade post and let's get this show on the road. We have a bit of fish. Fish are a really good trade. We're going to trade all fish over 100. We're going to trade all firewood over 150. We're going to trade all planks over 20. Now, we're not going to buy any trade routes. We're just going to let the good Lord get us there. We're getting a bit of passive wealth now from this gent. As soon as we get to the boyer workshop, we'll be in good shape. Let's keep this going. We're only going to upgrade one to reduce the negative penalty from not having ale. And we're going to get this going. Once I get enough archers, I can go off and steal a bandit camp from the Lord if there's enough time. Or we can just save up some money and try to hire some mercenaries here shortly. The next thing we're probably going to want to do, get up a manor. And in order to do that, we're going to need a little bit more stone. So let's go to mining. Let's find the little bit of stone that we have. Let's put a camp over here. Start mining that out momentarily. We do need a few more families. Ox are hauling logs to the saw pit. Bartholomew's is transporting firewood. This is gravy. Storehouse workers have carts. It really helps them ramp up production. We've got a bit of veggies, I think, that are going to start coming in to circulation here to help us maintain those multiple food variety types. Village is really starting to come together. Things are coming along very nicely. All right, we got our money. Gonna get the boyer up, and then we're gonna immediately switch it over to making bows. Bows will be one of the first things that we start selling too. This will fund a lot of our endeavors. Beautiful. All right, in the advanced tab, go to bows, 4 bows. I'm gonna set a threshold of 50 for the time being, so we don't go too crazy. And now we can start getting our first army up. Once the stonecutter camp gets up, once we get some more people, we can keep going in other directions. We have 2 available housing right now. We're going to bump up the expanded living space here. So we can get more people. There is currently a drought going on. That's why you're seeing this color differential. So, unfortunately, the drought does impact fishing. Right now it's frozen. Maybe it isn't a drought. It looked like we were having a drought. Oh no, it's just winter. Okay, I got scared. Ah yes, winter. Winter is looking very nice in this area. The village is coming along really nicely. This is just a fraction of what all of this is going to look like when we finally get this built correctly. Alright, we got 4 bowmen. So as soon as I see a bandit camp get up, I can go and steal it. There's one right here. Sometimes these bandit camps don't... Let's pause the game. Sometimes the individuals in the bandit camp are already gone. That's actually what appears to be happening. I need a minimum of 5 people. So we can actually run out and take this bandit camp right now because all of the bandits are dead. So as soon as I get one more bow made and we get our 5th gent, we're going to go get some money. And that money will be used to hire mercenaries to fight off any bandit raids that come against us. Alright, there we are with our 5 individuals. So let's rally them out. Let's go get go get some free loot. The bandit camp looks pretty dead, except for the one fire that's just lit. All right, there we are. We hit the camp. We're gonna send it to our treasury. Now we have 185 to hire a mercenary once we get attacked by the bandits. Right now I'm not seeing the banditos out here, but they are there. Let's boot this up. All right. It doesn't look like I accidentally... Yeah, I should not have updated that because now I need to move someone out. I'm going to pull someone out of the tannery, have them start upgrading these buildings. And we are, in fact, going to start building out these buildings as well. This is the entire... I like to get my industrial housing up as fast as possible. I'm going to try to keep the aesthetic. We got something kind of cool going on here. And we're going to do a little bit of decorating since we can. If I can fit any of these guys in here. Almost, almost. There we go. We can have the coolest trade post in town now. Now we don't have to worry about banditos. We got lots of things going on. We got a good chunk of change, so we're going to get the other vegetable gardens up. I know it's sacrilegious, but I may actually skip orchards this time. I may skip it. I don't really see apple trees in this design. It looks like they just did primarily veggies. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to remove this road. I'm going to build this road and follow the natural background and curvature. I think it just makes it look a little bit more real. There we go. And then the same here. Follow all this. Perfection. Got all our market stalls right there. Looks like we need another storehouse worker. But, you know, we're not getting too punished for it, and I don't really want to put the person in there. Let's put someone in the tannery. Alright. Everything here is doing fairly well. I think we're going to build out the remaining houses over on this side. Single plots. Perfect. We're making good progress. Getting that money. I think we're going to get ourselves another ox. I'm feeling fancy. Get some more hitching posts up and order the ox now. We're getting bowmen. This is great. Now all we need to do is grow our population and grow out our army. Get these houses up. And things are looking mighty fine. Now one thing that does actually bother me is how barren this area is. So we're going to get the forester up right here. I'm going to start peppering in this area. Now I can already kind of tell that this is going to be a park slash garden. This is not in the city design, so this is something I'm just going to do for myself because I think it will look cool. So, you know, you don't have to go all crazy when you're building historical cities. You can also take the concepts and then try to make them look a little bit better. So we're going to put a little circle area in the middle. This is going to have absolutely... Going to remove this angled road here. Instead of it coming out from this spot, I think it would make more sense. It kind of came out from this spot. Came in sideways like so. And if there was a nice little entry point to a circle garden over here. So we're going to have trees all along this area. It's going to be like a little religious festival area. And then everything in between will have a similar setup. We're going to do another road here. What I like to do to make road areas thick is I like to spam roads in areas like this. It can make the area just seem a little bit more thick and a little, you know what I mean? Like a lot of these roads, they look too straight. So when you do stuff like this, you can give it just a little bit of thickness that I think makes it look more aesthetically pleasing. So this is something I've done in my historical builds where I just kind of layer roads. So like back here, I have nothing pretty to put, right? So I can just layer a ton of roads back here. We only have so many tools at our disposal to make our cities look nice. One of my biggest complaints, but doubling up your roads can sometimes make things just look a little bit more different, you know? Because not everyone has a big old dirt road. It's the little things. It's the little things like that that matter. And same here. There we go. Alright, perfect. We're going to get this all looking sharp in no time. Speed this up. I actually think that this looks kind of cool, and I want some symmetry here. As many trees as possible. And then we'll have these little arcs, right? Once the forester's up, we'll get this area going. But this just looks kind of cool. Alright, we're getting them shrines up. Perfection. Got our little festival area. This is where they can get freaky, get slotch, get drunk, get weird, you know? I think with that, I'm going to actually delete these roads. All of them. I want this to be the main pathway right here between the city, so everybody is coming up the Funk Road. Cobham speaks through me, so Cobham definitely wants this. Alright, what's going on? We got a group of people moving. They're going for this bandit camp. I'm just gonna let them have it. I'm quite happy. Alright, so we got bandits coming in 365 days. We have more than enough money for everything. Let's go through and just make sure that we have enough individuals doing all the things that we need. We're going to place 2 people in the logging camp. We now have multiple hitching posts, so let's upgrade a few of these to stables. Make sure we have enough room for everything. The trading post is going very strong. We're selling fish. We're selling all types of jazz. Got all this going. The main thing I'm concerned about realistically is food. So we want to get vegetable gardens, those things going. Got all these nice little back slots. And we could do animal pens over here. I think I'm going to do some goats. Get a little bit more leather production going. You never know when you want to make boots or sell something. So let's, for the aesthetics too. We're going to put 1 individual back into the hunting camp now. The wild animals. We do have the an iron deposit right here. I don't know why I put... The stone is right there. Perfect. Get some stone coming in now. Build ourselves a manor. Alright. The groove plot is there. Things are looking really nice here. Coming along decently. The forester hut is ready. So we just need the workers. We got the space for people to come in. So yeah, we're gonna forest this entire area here. And once I get an individual, I can start throwing up the trees. Make this look nice. And then we can pull the forester away when we have enough trees. To make sure I don't cut down everything that I'm working hard for, I'm gonna do this. Perfect. We'll just get a few trees coming in there and then we'll be fine. We're about to get another family at the beginning of this month. We'll let him go around and build. Trade is strong. We definitely want to upgrade the large storehouse as fast as possible. So let's go to the advanced tab. Let's up the planks to 50. The Baron is moving really fast at this difficulty. Also because I'm letting him take the bandit camps, which is not technically wise. But, you know, I'm not too concerned. He's kind of a, you know, not very strong. Get another veggie. I mainly want to focus on getting these veggies going. As you can see, the land is pretty hard. Alright, we got ourselves our extra person. So we're just going to keep building out the design at this point. We're making a lot of really good progress. So the houses over here, based on the picture, they're just going to be a bit smaller than the houses over here. You know, we're having to do some kind of interesting things. I'm going to take this as the small house area. We're going to move things just a tad bit around just to make it aesthetically work. But we're going to try our best to stay as true to the East Grinstead picture that I have here as possible. But we got a lot of great things going on. So we're way above our percentages. We really need to get our money system. Really need to get trade going a lot better than what it is. And it looks like we have like a bit of a tiered system of housing over here. So I think what I'm going to do is take this picture, and so we know that it extends well past the church into this bottom rung over here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to extend this road just for the time being to help us organize this, and we're going to have farmland going off in other areas. So it looks like we have 2 burgage plots here. Then we have a few more burgage plots here, and it looks like they kind of stepstone down. So I'll probably have to come back and delete some of these, but I like this a lot. Alright, we're going to use that stepstone down kind of build there, and over here we just have a nice little wide area. We can put anything that we want. I've turned this from what looks like a storage area into just a park area. Now hopefully the forester camp can get up now. We have 1 individual. Let's speed this up. We have enough available housing for 4 individuals, and we're going to continue to get these families up and start building out our army. Ale production will be necessary here shortly, along with a couple of other things like getting the clay deposit up so that we can upgrade our church. We are getting in stone and lots of other things that we need. 164 stones still remaining to be gathered. So we have everything going on. I think we're doing fantastic. We can probably start now getting into the fishing. So I think the first point we're going to spend is on advanced pond keeping. Now I've gone into how fishing works in other videos. Essentially, if you want to be lazy, it grows 50% for 3 months out of the year. You need a lot of families to be able to hunt, to fish everything down. So you want to just use a 2/3 method. However, because the amount of fishing spots is limited to 11, you can't usually do that. And so the figure for this on 704, you could honestly go to something like half if you just want to not think about the math. You're going to overfish in periods, but overall you're going to get the same amount of fish. You don't have to really think too strongly on this stuff. I will say, because the pantry size is limited and the distance from the fisher to the granary is substantial, we're going to need to think here. We are going to want to upgrade our granary, and we're going to want an upgraded storehouse as well, as we're getting very, very full. So we're going to upgrade those two things, use that new family that we just got to help with all this stuff. But what I like to do in these situations is build multiple fisher huts to rely a bit more on those pantry size to, because if the pantry gets full, they stop fishing. So it's the same concept with berries. It's the same reason why I use multiple forager huts, is that pantry size. So we're going to place a few fishers, and we're going to put probably, I'd say, 3 families to work here. We're going to continue to sell our fish. It is a very lucrative trade. I think that's like the best thing about fish, is that you get a little bit more than berries and you can sell them. So I don't really like the way that this is going. So here we go. We'll get the second guy there, and we'll have ourselves a nice little road. Angle it just a tad bit, make it look nicer. There we go. So we're going to let them build those things out, but we're very prepared for what is coming at us. And we're going to continue to get the vegetable gardens up. I'm going to get these guys up because they look big. And we're going to skip apples. I don't know why, I just don't feel like doing apples this time. We're just going to do veggies. But as you can see, the houses are going to kind of do, again, the stepstone thing that we see. Let's pause the game real quick, because I think it's really cool if we can get this stuff kind of where we want it to be. So it kind of angles here, right? And then it kind of takes this natural curve down. And then it takes a steep curve down. And then it kind of naturally angles. And as you can see, it angles into this road here. Now we're going to have a little bit more houses than what we see over there on the picture. But overall, I think if we do this, we get our houses here with the stepstones. And we get this out, and then we start doing the strip farming. We're going to have something that looks really, really close. So in fact, I am going to start doing the strip farming. We're going to do this in straight, narrow lines of 0.5 to 1 Morgan. Here. Leaving some room for a nice little windmill. We're going to do our own little thing here. Make it look a little natural, a little leany. Perfect. Farmhouse there. And then from here, we're going to have our nice straight lines. I tend to turn off the snap to road tool for this because it just gets all weird. And we're going to do 0.4s. It just seems to be that's what it wants to do here. And as we can see on this part of the build going up to the road, has another farming area with a road with farm plots going down straight. Ones are going to be a little bit bigger. 0.5 versus 0.4s. Per the picture, it does look like there is a nice little farming area to the left of this. Like I said, we're going to take a few liberties with this build to make it what we want it to be. We're going to place a farmhouse right here. Not enough goods, that's fine. We're going to place a road down this side and do a farmhouse. I'm taking some liberties, as I said. This is kind of what it looks like, and with the stepstones having more and more farmland going off the back. Behind these areas too, having farmland. I think it looks really cool. Fortunately, maybe I shouldn't have picked the river map, but you know, The cool thing about these historic builds is that what you're seeing is just basically applying the concepts of the town layout. And I like, to a degree, that we're using all of the land, you know. It has a nice feel to it. Alright, that's going to be a little weird baby one right there. Going to use a weird kind of angled sideways road here. In the picture, you can actually see trees behind the long form ones here, so we're going to keep it just like that with the Woodcutter's Lodge. Utilizing this area for cutting down wood. This actually works out really well, as you can see, so we can cut all the wood back here. I think that's excellent. I don't see any farming over in this area, but there we go. So we have a nice little natural farm area off to the side. Have a bunch of houses over here. I'm going to place a road behind the granary going up. So we'll have more houses over here. Alright, so we have a good start. We have our first areas coming up. We have a farmhouse, we'll have some windmills, we got our park, we got our church, we got a nice marketplace, which is more than enough size for all the stalls that we're going to need. Storehouse and granary both upgrading. This is perfect. Well, let's speed this up a bit. And the forester, you can see, is starting to plant its trees. We only want to plant a little bit. We don't want it to get too thick. We're going to upgrade these hitching posts over here. I'm going to put this to a higher priority. We really need to get this storehouse up. Alright, look at that. Multiple fisher huts up. You can see that we've actually been able to fish a lot of stuff over here. We're going to have to be a little careful. We're going to have to be a little careful. I think I'm actually going to change my mind on the 350. We went down to 305. Okay. So we'd accidentally overfished. That's alright. Good thing we're trading a lot of these fish. Let's order a horse. Right now we're doing a good job. I don't want to mess anything up. We're eventually going to start selling bows. The main thing that's holding us back right now is just a lack of individuals for our army. We're 246 days away from being attacked. The hardest difficulty really isn't too troubling when it comes to bandits. It's mostly the Lord. Once he takes these other provinces over here, he's going to want to fight us. So we should definitely start looking into getting up a manor and start to get taxes and start to get retinue. Now, on the picture, there's really no location for the manor, but we know that manors typically were very close to city centers. So let me look what we can do here. I think what we're going to do is put it right here on protecting this road coming in. We have a few houses that are going to come over this way. We got a bridge right over here. I think that a manor right here at the crossroads and bridge would be excellent. So let's place our first manor here, and we can get this all kitted out. Commit. Perfect. And let's continue to get up our veggie gardens. Now, we did in the prior one, we can get pigs or goats. I'm going to go with goats because I really want the hide leather. There we are. Things are looking fantastic for us. And now I'm going to alternate between wheat and barley on these crops. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Up here is going to be a patch. All this up here, I think these guys and these guys will be a patch, so I'm just going to try to split this all up evenly. Pretty much all the land here is amazing, 97.64. You don't need to leave the month for fallow if you want to do flax, but I don't want to do flax because I want to use 2/3 of my work. I don't want to have to increase my workforce. This is going to be enough. 2/3 of my fields are going to be active at any given point. But yes, you can actually do wheat, barley, flax if you want to, and then sell the linen. Very smart way to play the game. Right, and then on these fields here, we're going to do wheat and barley in the second and third. And I'm going to just do one of these with wheat and barley in the second and third. Perfect. And then the rest of this is going to go wheat in the third, barley in the first. These smaller ones up here. As you can see, the percentages that we're getting on fertility up here are amazing. Perfect. Everything is in a good harmony. This is going to be fantastic. We're definitely going to get plows. And let's speed this along, get our families. We now have multiple families. The fish will have to regrow here in a bit, and we'll put some more families into that. I'm going to put one more individual into the trade post. We're going to increase the large storehouse so that we can get our areas back to 100. We're also going to increase the granary worker. We have a lot more than we had before. The next goal is going to be getting an upgraded church. So we are going to need to now look at our mining and get up a mining pit on our clay. Now we can easily fit more than one, but we're not going to. We don't need to. And I'm going to take a road right here. Perfection. I'm going to keep the woodcutter right where it is. I love this area for it. Nice big area to cut down trees. Alright, we're getting some trees in this area. I'm actually going to take the forester and I'm going to limit its work area to right here. I'm going to get them trees going. Alright, hunter camp. Let's see, have we gotten all the stone? Still have 100 stone to get. It's quite a bit. We just need to... We ran out of available living space, so we just need to keep the people happy. And looks like we're going to need quite a bit for this. But this is what this area is going to look like. It's going to look really cool. We're actually going to get another lumber camp down so that we can store more logs. This is something that you should think about doing, because logs can only be stored in a logging camp. So good to have a few of these. I would say 3. We have quite a bit of hitching posts that we need to build up too. It does look like it kind of seesaws right here. So we're going to place some hitching posts here. And I know some people are probably afraid for me right now, because usually I have about 100 of these, and so a little bit behind on all my hitching posts. The trees are still not being planted. There are some issues, I think, with the forester's hut. It tends to plant trees where it wants. We're going to limit the area to here, and hopefully get some more trees out here as fast as possible. We have all of our fields ready to go. Once I get more families, I can start putting everything up. But let's continue to build this area up, make it look nice. We have 100% windmill efficiency right here. So they can come get the flour. The bread maker I'm going to place next to the granary. Place that right there. That's beautiful. A little bit more stone to gather. We're going to have lots of bread. We're going to have lots of booze and all the good stuff. So let's start looking at that as well. We're going to want a malt house. We're going to want a tavern. So I think that the tavern would probably go close to where all of this is with the wooden church. Typically, churches and taverns were kind of close together. Everything was kind of centralized. We're also going to need additional wells for the amount of people that we have. Right here is a great place for another well, I think. The back of everything looks perfect. Let's get this small tavern up. Now, I think a good place for the tavern, actually, is going to be right where this forester hut is. So I'm going to move the forester hut over here. Since it's kind of planting right next to it, maybe by moving the forester hut central here, we'll actually have help us achieve the objective, which is getting this area to be more park-like. And yeah, I think that this area right here for the tavern is fantastic. And then we can probably delete this back road, and everything will be great. Yes, we're going to delete this back road. I was just using it to help organize everything. Beautiful. Alright. Get this little pretty... There we are. Got our roads looking very sharp now. I think I'm going to upgrade this to a stone well. The second to last region is being claimed, so things are going to get a little hairy for us. We're still moving our goods over to the manor. In 149 turns, we're going to be attacked. A little bit of stone needs to be moved. Always takes a bit when you put it that far away. Those things are to be expected. Multiple logging camps going up soon. We're a little broke, but that's alright. Mining pit is up. Start bringing in the clay. Next thing that I want to do, get up a clay furnace. I'm going to place the clay furnace, flip it around right here if I can. I'll put it right here. That's a good spot for it. The malt house. Tavern's over here. It's always nice to keep some of this stuff close together. We're going to be bringing the barley up to the storehouse granary area anyway. You know, the logistics of the game are actually not as bad as you think they are. You can have things pretty far away from each other and they still do a grand job. Got the oven, got the hunting camp going at a pretty good level. Have to wait for our nice little season for the fish to regenerate. 30 wood. My goal right now is just to simply get as many of the houses out as possible. We're really close. We need 38 wood to do the rest of these houses. Let's do this bottom part first, since it's the least requirements. Alright. Ooh, that is a little weird, isn't it? Let's reevaluate this one. We're gonna have to do this guy first. Since he's special, let's take the snap to road tool off. Do this part first. There we go. Perfect. Now we can do the other guys. Getting a bit of a weird thing going on there. I want these to be straight as possible. So, perfect. There we go. Get those houses up. Got 5 families now. Things are really moving along. Got 4 months of food. That is not ever a good thing. So the population's getting bigger. I think it's going to be time to start getting into some of the late game mechanics here right now. So let's get the small tavern up right here. It's a perfect place. I was going to put another farm here, but I think what we're going to do is keep that as a small tavern there. And yeah, we can put one more localized farm here. And that helps with the picture. Now we got the park, we got everything. Let's place one person in the forester hut. Get this up a little bit more, get some trees going around this area. I'm afraid we're going to need quite a bit of people before we can go into those different productions. Our food is going to consist of a lot of veggies, so we'll need to continue to get those ramped up. Let's speed this up. I think we're going to be okay, though. I think with vegetables and fish, we're going to be able to feed everybody. We're above 83%. Manor is coming along very nicely. Things are moving along really well. We're at almost enough food variety. We're going to need to start making boots here soon. Alright. So these guys are perfect. I'm going to upgrade him. We're going to need to make some boots. Nice. Got another new family. We're going to start making clay tiles. I'm going to cap our roof tiles at 150 for now. Eventually we'll import clay if need... no, we're not ever going to import clay. I might cap this to something like 250 then. And we're going to start selling clay tiles for sure. In fact, we're going to start doing that potentially. Yeah, I might do that over bows first. So we're going to sell anything we make over 75. And we're going to save up some money and buy that trade route. Start making some money here soon. Nice, got a settlement level increase. So, in order to maximize our population, we're going to do the heavy plow. We're going to need to order some more ox. I'm going to add a plowing station over here. I'm going to pause the game real quick. And we're going to place just a couple of hitching posts between the farm and windmill area. We're also going to come over here and order another ox. Speed the game up. Got a lot of good living spaces for everybody. Things are coming along. Town is looking pretty sharp. But this is what an English town kind of looked like. I think you've seen probably other videos with very similar styles where all the houses were on one main road. It's really interesting to recreate these things from these pictures. Alright, we're going to upgrade all of these hitching posts to small stables. They just look a lot nicer, and they allow us to have more ox. Got a nice area for logging camp. We are running kind of low on food. I'm going to pause the game real quick. We just need one good fish season, which is coming up. Yeah, we're gonna be in a little bit of a pickle. So I think it's time to get everyone we can farming. We need to get that bread going ASAP. I'll leave. Right, well, not yet. Yeah, it's not even time. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're gonna upgrade the church. The veggies should really start piling in here in a moment, so that's great. I'm always a bit overconfident in my abilities. Kind of expanded pretty quickly. Typically I have apples, and typically I don't build like this with long stringy plots because they aren't efficient in the game mechanics. But this is pretty cool. I do like the historical feel and accuracy. I know that we can get this to work, so I'm not too worried. It's going to be really cool when we do. I'd probably argue that we should probably make some more farming around these areas, but we'll see what we get. Perfect. That'll give us a nice little boost. This guy's upgraded, so we're going to need a tool. Now, in the future patch, you're actually going to need tools for upkeep on a lot of buildings. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to pause the game real quick. Now, we can import tools, but we'd have to buy a trade route for it. The alternative here is to just import raw iron or mine the iron ourselves and build it from the ground up. Now, we have 158 iron ore over here. It would be wise to not put any more burden on our economy, as our economy is really weak right now. Stone cutter has 4 stone left. I don't care enough for that. I'd rather have the person out. We're going to boot out. We're going to make a very small industry over here with a bloomery and smithy. So this is just going to be a temporary thing, and we'll make the tools that we need to get our boots going. And we'll delete this when we're ready. Now we have 8 families. We have enough for farming. We have 0 months worth of food, but I am feeling very confident that we're gonna be fine. And we're going to, in fact, drop our fish quota down to 250, just to get enough food to make it to the coming months. So let's get to work, guys. Get one guy out there getting fish, and nobody has to die. We have 9 people now, and the raiders are coming in 7 days. We actually have our retinue, and we don't really need any more families at this point, so I think I am going to impose a small tax. We're going to impose a tax of 6%. Get us a small approval loss. Start building up our coffers. Since they're coming in 7 turns, I don't want to lose any of my people. We're going to sign contract with the cheapest individuals that we can find. And we're going to have them fight. We're still going to use our men in the fight, but we'll use these individuals to make sure we have no casualties. Where are our men coming from? From the south? Okay, perfect. Now, it's possible that the Lord will actually intercept the bandits, so it's kind of funny when that happens. Alright, and then I'm going to place 8 people in this farmhouse down here. Have them start getting things going. Alright, so the raiders have been sighted. The Lord's army is over here. Our men are over here. Let the game kind of catch up. And then we can see where they're coming from. Oh, they're coming from right behind. So it does appear that he will, in fact, intercept them. But if he doesn't, we'll be prepared for that too. Now, if there are any bandit camps, typically what you do when you summon these mercenaries is you send them. Fortunately, we won't be able to get to that bandit camp in time, so we'll just have to forego the whole thing. But let's sit here in a defensive position and see what happens. What happens when you... This is what happens to me when I don't have proper veggie plots, but I'm actually not very scared about anything right now. I think that we're going to stomp these fools. Alright, he actually just buggered off. Don't know where the raiders are. He looks like he skipped the camp entirely. I'm gonna go over there and steal that camp because we can use that money to help buy our first trade routes. Right. I'm gonna go steal the bandit camp. I think he may have actually killed the raiders for me, but I didn't see it. He also gave up his claim. So it does appear that his combat with the bandits screwed everything up for him. That's beautiful for me. It's one less territory I have to worry about. Gives me a little bit of time. We're actually going to send this money to the town. And yeah, it doesn't look like he's coming. Beautiful day indeed. So what I'm going to do with that money is come down and immediately start buying the proper trade routes. So the first trade route that we want to do, since we have a bunch of clay tiles, is sell clay tiles. We're also going to export anything we have over 100 clay. I will buy that trade route last. So we're going to export the roof tiles, anything over 75. We're going to buy that for 80. We're going to go to... I should have actually bought the warbow one first. We're going to buy the second warbow one. And we're going to export anything we have over 25. Then I'm going to come back. And we're also going to just straight up sell raw clay. Now with one mine, and I'm going to go into deep mining, we're going to be able to do a lot of things here. So, gotta spend money to make money, as they say. We're going to place another individual into the mine. I'm going to get rid of this individual here. And I'm going to put everybody back to work. Perfect. Right as rain. Alright. Speed this up, get back to it. Village is coming along very nicely. And once we get a bit more money, keep expanding. As the families move in and as we get veggies coming in, we're going to be a-okay. We're going to have a lot of bread. We're going to have a lot of barley. Things are going to be fantastic for us. Got our malt house over here. Going to have booze coming in soon. It's going to be wonderful. Alright, there you go. We got the food coming in now. We're fine. Alright, so at this farmhouse, I'm going to now assign 2 livestock to help with all the plowing. I'm going to come over here and purchase another livestock as soon as possible. And we're just going to let everything grow at this point. Our fight with the Lord will be fairly soon. So we will need to be prepared for that. Luckily, we have a little bit of money in our coffers to hire some mercenaries. Alright, look at that. We're getting some trees around here. I feel pretty good about this, so I'm going to move him over here next to all the logging camps now. So this is perfect. This is like the perfect amount of trees for a park, in my opinion. Keep the open spaces clear. Everything around it with trees. I love it. Alright, we're going to put 1 individual into the mining pit. 1 person into the bloomery, and 1 person into the smithy. And then we can get our bootmakers up. They're doing a good job. The first year when farming usually isn't very good. It just takes a bit to catch up. Let's order an ox. Pop these guys up. I'm liking the feel of everything so far. It's looking really nice. Alright, we're making great progress. I think we're doing a good job over here. Let's look at the trading posts. We got the bows, we got the planks, we got the firewood. I think we may need to stop selling firewood, which typically happens once you get to a certain population. So we are going to stop. Coal is also probably the best trade item in the game. But we have a lot of good things. Just straight up exporting raw clay typically is pretty awesome. So we got a good thing going right there. We may need to put 1 more individual in the storehouse just to simply help moving goods, but I think we're doing all right now. Make sure the marketplace is stable. It is not, so we are actually going to need to 1 more dude in the storehouse here, and we may need to put 1 more individual into the large granary. But my main thing right here is just making the tools. I'm going to pause the game real quick. Now we're going to get ourselves our bootmaker. I am going to pull these individuals out. Everything over here, put them back to work. And we're going to set a limit of, let's see, how many Burgage plots do we have? Almost 30. We're going to have a lot more, probably going to have 40 Burgage plots. So that is going to be interesting for us. Let's get this cobbler up. Cobbler is now up. Go to the advanced tab. So we're going to put our cap here at 60. You only need 1 per Burgage plot. and they don't consume it. It's just reserved. Kind of silly. I'm expecting a lot of these features to change with future patches. Food variety is not keeping up because we don't have 3. Clothing variety is not keeping up for a lot of reasons too. Once we get the booze coming in, let's actually upgrade this small tavern. That's a beautiful thing right there. And let's get the forester hut over here going strong. Right here is great. Trees going. Okay, I think we're in really good shape. Order another ox. Don't have too many of them. We only have 4 for moving logs, and everything else is helping with the farmhouse. The burgage plots over here, though, are fine and dandy. The money is starting to flow back in, so we do need to continue to get our veggies up. I'm going to get these guys up first because they're the closest to the granary. We may even need to get another granary worker up to help move the goods around for veggies. Boom. There we go. And now we have this area here. I kind of feel like we should potentially put a house right here. I don't know why, but I just feel like it will tie everything together a little bit better. I'm going to put a house here. I'm going to put a double burgage plot. There we go. Maybe a little out of the norm, but perfect. Wonderful. So we have a nice big area over here. And let's see. Do we have any wheat yet? Nope, nope, nope. Let's see what we got grown. First years are always off because you just don't plow right, you don't seed right, and subsequent years are where you really start making your dough, so to speak. No pun intended. And we're going to start upgrading everybody to tier 2. Start getting that passive money coming in so we can progress a little bit faster. Take a peek at our trade posts. Yeah, we're doing a good job. We're making money. That's all you can ever ask for. Alright. So these burgage plots over here, we put... Oh yes, we need a little bit more money. Need to get some more goats. I love just being able to see the barnyard animals in the backyards here. It's pretty cool. You got a good view. You can look at a goat's ass while you buy fish. It's a beautiful place. That's a little weird, yeah. Alright, we're going to put 1 person into the malt house. We're going to put 1 person into the tavern. Once we get the barley going, that's going to be great. We're going to need 1 person in the windmill. I'm going to start procking all these things now. And we're going to need 1 person in the oven over here. Not in the oven, but working the oven. My bad. Here we go. We got our next point. So, yes, we have the wonderful heavy plow. We're going to need to go into charcoal burning and deep mining. So, charcoal should potentially be the next thing we start looking at here. We probably also need another woodcutter. I'll look into charcoal here in a bit, but I don't want to expand too much of my industries. Yes, don't put your peasants in the oven. That's not nice. Alright, 28 lumber. I think we're going to have to start building these houses out a little bit slower. I anticipated. And that's actually probably fine. So let's take the snap to roll. Actually... Alright, let's do this in a different way. Snap the road tool on. I want all the houses here to align correctly. So what we can do is line these up in a square, like so. This is a little off. Okay. Yeah, that's a little off. We can always change the road up. That's perfect. And then we just rotate it. Alright, perfect. That is a lot of houses. We need to move this gent across the way. So I think I'll actually move it this side of the road. Perfect. We'll get all these gents up. Things will be grand. Get ourselves another ox. We got a lot of good farmland around this area now. Got ourselves 1 oven, which I think is going to be more than enough. We got barley coming in. The booze should start flowing here momentarily. We just need to get a few more families. We're above 50%, so we'll get 1 family a month. And we have no available living spaces. So actually, I have screwed up. Cool. We're going to pull everybody out of clay mining just for a second. Just to get things going. I need to build all this stuff up. Alright, and the fish are doing fantastic. I need to put another person into fish. We're having a breakdown here. I'm going to pull the guy out of the clay furnace tile. Help build up. We'll build a few more houses. Get a few more families coming in. Things will be great. Speed this up just a tad bit. All right, look at that. We got some houses up. Let's go back into mining and clay furnace. And let's get more veggies. More inefficient veggie burgage plots. Historically, in their time, this was efficient, but because of the way the game works and collection works, the longer they are, the further out they have to walk, you see? So they gather the veggies, and they walk around, and then they walk all the way back. For some reason, they think taking the road, it's even worse than I thought. But yeah, that's the problem with long. That's why all my designs focus on eliminating distance traveled. Alright, let's get another ox. Things are coming along real nice. This is looking great. Oh, God. Yeah, they went to town on the trees. This actually looks pretty good. Got ourselves a nice little park over here. Let's build out the plowing stations here. This is looking beautiful. Got the windmill going. Farmhouse threshing. Perfect. Got the barley. Let's see. Do we have the booze? Not yet. Right, we have the malt house. It's making the malt. Ah, yeah, the next step. Sorry. We need to upgrade a burgage plot and get a brewery maker up. My bad. It's been a long week. Let's do that now. Alright. We're going to upgrade this to a brewery extension. Put it on the highest. Pull the gents out of the clay industry to build this real quick. Alright, we got the booze going. We're gonna put a cap of around 200 ale. We'll probably start selling ale. We're not sailing on ale. Not yet. I mean, maybe in the future. Words are hard some days. Alright. So, the fishing, we got 2 families going at it. The food is really starting to come in now. We're keeping everybody happy. Or a version of happy where they don't, you know, try to murder me in my sleep. We continue to upgrade and do everything. Now that we have alcohol production going, we can start upgrading everyone to tier 2. We have boot production going as well. But we're going to get all of these guys up into veggies. We're going to have more veggies than we know what to do with, but it's the way that this all comes together. Perfect. This is looking great. So now the last bit is just aligning it over here. And we got ourselves our authentic little town. Need 22 wood. Not bad. One more piece and we've got it going on. There it is. The last of them. That puts us at 38 constructed and 11. That puts us at 49. That's actually perfect. That's a nice little, 50. So we'll have just maybe 1 worker in efficiency in our market stalls since they go in 20s. Again, a lot of this is going to change, so be prepared for changes. So we definitely need another granary worker. At this point, we just need to keep the families coming in. Alright, 62% entertainment. This is going to go up. We had a really crap harvest last year, but our next harvests are going to be much better. Look at that, 67. A lot of wheat. A lot of wheat over here. We're going to start bringing in the bread. Start getting more veggies. Things are really going to start going our way here soon. And to make the town look kind of nicer, part of me doesn't really like the deforestation over here. So I'm thinking I'm going to move the wood cutting into this area over here. That way the town just looks a little bit... it looks a little like it hasn't been deforested. And we're going to start moving these gents over here between areas. That's perfect. All right. The Lord has decided that I am not worthy of life. And he wants to attack us. So I'm going to split these guys into 3 archer groups. Gonna rally everybody. We're going to hire a good mercenary group. I believe the flock of crazy geese. I mean, how can you say no? We have enough to hold these people for some time. Get them over here. I believe that we can easily take the Lord, especially if we can get them to come at us from across a bridge. So let's wait for our mercenaries to get here. I'm actually going to have them run to us. I don't know which direction he will come from. If he comes from this direction down here, we'll have to fight in the fields. So we're ready to fight. Gonna have everybody here. And I think he's gonna be coming. Oh, he's coming from right over here. So unfortunately, we don't have the option of doing any of that. But we can use our town to create natural bottlenecks. We don't want him to burn everything down, so we do need to stay a little bit close. And there might actually be some ox who get caught in the fire. And I apologize. It's not a Tacticat video if 30 ox aren't slaughtered in the streets during combat. So it's an unfortunate part of life for these people. Alright, let's get everybody in position. I'm going to get my retinue out here as bait to lead the army at us instead of burning my town down. And then we're going to get this show on the road. We got 482. I'm sorry. I got to get these veggies going. That's a little bit of a weird house right there. I like that. A little different from the other guys. But yeah, we want to get all of these guys growing veggies. Get this as historically authentic as possible. Alright. Looking good. And we got a nice little forester over here. Let's pause the game real quick. I'm going to get this whole area redone. Perfect. We need to get people back into the clay industry. I'm going to put one more person in. Got one extra person. Perfect. Alright. We're set up. We're ready for this. You can see that they already have their pitchforks out. So we're actually going to send this guy out a little bit closer. We want to have them engage. There we go. So they are now engaged. They won't burn our city down. And we can retreat backwards. Now the enemy should come at us. They do tend to target ranged units if they're there. So I think they're going to try to take the southern route over here. Oh boy. Here we are. Alright. Oopsie daisy. We're kind of wondering how we do want to do this, but put them into shield wall. They're completely reworking all of this, like units in collision. They said that the collision system was made for 2D animations, and now they're working on a 3D collision system. So the whole combat system, the whole game is really going to change a lot. And yeah, you can see here we can get shield wall as well. So I think it's important to kind of protect these areas. And we got our guys right here in shield wall. Stragglers. Archers right there. Perfect, perfect. Already shooting. Looks like they're going to try to come. Yep. They're getting a little confused because of all of the fences. That's perfect. We'll get a sideways shield wall going right here. Just make sure everybody's protected. It's a sharp looking shield wall. Yep, got our guys looking nice. Alright. Now archers unfortunately don't do a lot of damage. If we had some crossbowmen, we'd be doing better. We might accidentally shoot some of our own people. This lady is just accepting her fate, apparently. They scared my goats, man. Mean. You don't ever scare a man's goats. Alright. We're shooting down some gents. Yeah, we're doing a good job. Alright, things are going our way. Archers over here are doing fantastic. I think I'm going to send some archers over here to get some flank shots. I come back here. These guys are doing alright. I think I'm going to get them in a little bit closer to get some better shots. Our gents in the front are taking a good blow. I don't see any counter offensive from the sides. So I'm going to send these gents in to hold the line. They killed all my retinues. That's fine. We'll get some more. We're getting shot up from the side. That's why we're losing retinue. Might actually want to pull my archers back out of range of theirs. I don't know where they're shooting. Oh, there they are. So I think we're going to send the mercenaries over here to counter these archers. Shoot at will. We're going to get up close. Alright, let's attack with our melee users and use the shield wall behind them to protect all the archers. There we go. We're going to get point blank with these gents over here. Hold them in. Beautiful. Alright. Right next to them. Shoot at will with a lot of good mercenary units. This should hurt them pretty bad. Yeah, you don't want to get shot from the side with these archer units. Okay, we got things going on over there. Looks like we're doing a good job over here. Looks like some of them broke out, so let's retreat back. And keep shooting. We're going to go into shoot at will with all these gents now. Give support. See what's going on down here. I think given the way they're angled, I think we can shoot them from the side. So let's pop these guys to the side and start getting some side shots on these archers. They're just not going down fast enough. There we go. Yeah, because they're so focused on our melee users over there. Get some good side shots. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to shoot these guys around and start shooting from behind over here. It does look like we've actually broken everybody. Let's get the retinue. Alright, we're in good shape. We're easily going to win. So let's get all of our gents over here. Nah, we're not even going to get to it. They're going to all bugger off. Alright, so that's cool. That is really great. So we were able to beat the Baron with the mercenaries and a couple archers. Typically not an issue. So we got someone in the oven. No one's in the oven. I gotta stop saying it that way. I am not putting my peasants in the oven. You don't need to call OSHA. Or the medieval version of OSHA. Alright, storehouse capacity. We will need to put another worker into the storehouse. Clay furnace is going. The mining is going. The food is coming in. Bread, fish, a little bit of meat. Veggies are going to start pouring in like crazy. We got a lot of it. We have all of our houses. We haven't even upgraded to tier 3 yet. That is the next goal for us, is to continue to upgrade everything to tier 1 and tier 3. So let's speed this along. We're making great progress. We got a lot of families coming in. We're going to have a really robust economy here momentarily. All right. Oh, we got a nice little logging camp. We want to make sure that we don't take lumber out of the area where our animals are. We're going to highlight this area down here. We're going to have ourselves a good time. Got a good thing going on in all directions. All of the bodies gave us a negative 37. You can put someone in the church, but quite honestly, there's so many bodies. They all disappear within a year with the current mechanics. So you can wait it out, or you can try to bury all them with just one poor man from the church going out. You can build a corpse pit. That works really well, too. I always prefer just to leave one dude in the church. But yes, the bodies finally disappeared. Perfect. Yeah, actually, I guess it's a month. A month and they're gone. I'm going to leave these small stables over here. I think it kind of ties the whole aesthetics together. Do a little road. I like it. We'll leave the small stables there. And let's order another ox. Got ourselves a windmill going. Farmhouse that's full of individuals. We did put 2 livestock to this now. I'm going to boot this up to 4 families. That way we have 4 ox going now. That's going to really reduce the amount of time. I think between everything that we got here, we're going to do a great job. But yes, we've got 540 regional wealth. We have everybody pretty much where they need to be. I'm not even going to make shields or anything, so we got all these nice little neat areas back here. Let's see if we can upgrade anybody. So we just need more wood and more lumber, more boards. All right, let's put another person into the logging camp over here. I think that should help. We have a bit of a stretch to bring logs to the saw pit. That's going to create some issues. But overall, I think we'll be okay. We just need to get some more ox. It's a pretty good jaunt. It's a pretty good jaunt. It's going to slow down. It's going to slow things down quite a bit. I think, honestly, the only way to have an inefficient setup like this and have it work really well is to probably just build another saw pit so that you have two things going at a time, and we can afford it. We're going to have more people than we know what to do with here shortly. We're already at a point where my population is going to double, and I have nothing really for these people to do except worship me. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? We're getting good. Oh, another thing I'd like to do is start getting some trees around this area. The park is looking sharp. Everything is looking sharp. Get ourselves another ox. But I believe everything is grand. I'm going to leave these gents just where they are. Everything over here is perfect. We're going to deforest this area, but it's not going to impact this. We're going to reforest this as soon as possible. We're going to need a little bit more boards if we want to get anything over here up. Let's see if we can get a garrison tower. We cannot. We're going to need to focus on our wood industry a little bit more if we want to get some of this stuff going. And if we want to mass upgrade, we're going to need a lot of saw pits. Probably 2. Fully staffed. Alright, look at that. So we're not even able to keep up with all the fish, so we're going to have to put another family into the fishing. Hopefully that will help out. We're probably going to max out the granary and storehouse and just have more marketplaces than we need. But everything is coming together really, really well. It looks like we need one more person in the storehouse. So we'll proc that. I'm just going to let the game kind of catch up with itself. I think we're doing fairly well. The tavern isn't doing too hot right now, but we're about to get a bunch of barley in, and I think things are going to really start changing for us. The setup is finally catching up with itself. All right, look at that. Now the grand, the grand upgrade stage. A quick peek. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right, there we go. The veggies, the bread, the fish, it's all piling in now. This is great. Got our 3 food types. We're going to need a 4th food type to keep people happy. And that's likely going to have to be honey. But the honey mechanics are going to be changing in the future, too. So we got a lot of things to take into consideration here. We're going to put a forester back here, I think. Got to keep all the lumber coming in for the woodcutter's lodge. And we're going to upgrade a well to get some boards. I think we're actually okay on wells. Alright, we got the harvest coming in now. And it looks like they're doing a good job of getting everything. Just enough families to hit it all. Look at that. Ton of barley. Alright. Getting that ale coming back in. Start upgrading more houses to tier 3 here soon. A lot of wheat. A lot of everything. Once we get these upgraded to the tier 3 and there's more families, they'll be able to do a bit more with this land. It's pretty pitiful what they're doing, though. They're not even using all of it. There we go. Look at that. Look at that ox go. But that's why you use long strips like this. Perfect. Alright, the money is flowing in now. A lot of this is just upgrading. But to be fair, the peasant life, you know, wasn't glamorous. They didn't have the nicest houses. This is really what it all looks like. Payments going back up. We can get some of these guys to tier 3. I'm gonna get one more individual over here. A logging camp. Sells another ox. Then we're gonna get one more person into the planks. This new saw pit going. Gonna up our plank limit to 80. Then I'm gonna come back over here, and I think we're gonna get another individual in the logging camp. We just need to start carpet cleaning this area. We need as much wood as we possibly can if we want to start upgrading very quickly. You can see the money is pretty substantial for us right now. Alright, we're going to have 5 families, all dedicated to logging. I like this main road area. It looks really cool coming through everything here. And the main road right here looks awesome too. And we're going to get the forester hut over here, replanting as fast as possible. Put one person into that. All right. We got a little bit of growth potential here. Don't even think we really need the 4th food type, even though we're getting a negative from it. But more so, I just want to show off what it would actually look like here, and it's really cool. Doesn't look like we're able to keep up with bread production very well. The flour isn't being moved properly. Or is it? Let's see. I think we need another person in the windmill. We're going to proc that. Alright, let's let the game catch up with itself. We need a little bit of help right now, so I think I'm going to pull 3 families out from the farmhouse to get some buildings up. Alright, cool. We're able to get 2 of these saw pits going, so I think things are going to start looking up for us now. Everybody else is doing great. Find the livestock here. Get ourselves a horse. Created some logistical hurdles. We may need another granary. I'm going to put another granary right here. I think we're going to need just some people dedicated to moving goods. Alright, now we have enough families for everything. I'm going to put those families back. We have 1 person building. That's great. We're going to move the malt house over next to the granary. It's unfortunate, but we're just not getting enough. It'll be a lot faster, and they'll just have to move it over to the brewer and then bring it to the tavern. But it's just too great of a distance for efficiency. We just don't have enough granary workers to keep up with everything. This is typically what happens, is you just need... I typically will say, don't do market stalls here. Like, I just need a runner, right? So I'm going to have this guy just start running resources. That might... Sometimes that usually helps. If you want to get technical, you can even just do things like this, where you just turn off all food. So all this guy's going to do is run alcohol, essentially. So this one dude right here is going to run barley, malt, ale. Should start helping out with a lot of things. And we're going to get a malt house up right over here, next to this granary that's storing a lot of that stuff. And we'll see if this can help get our booze situation up a little bit better. Because we have more than enough alcohol, it's just, you know, it's not optimized. Windmill's going. We got the flour right here, so the oven can get the flour right next to us. Yeah, it's mainly just that. I think we're also going to have this gent move the bread that's right next to us. And flour. So we'll just have this be kind of our farmer helper guy. Perfect. There we go. Booze is flowing strong now. The farmer helper. Might not even need that extra malt house, but I'm going to do it anyway. You can see with the larger plots too, the long plots, it looks like the game mechanics have changed quite a bit to reward some of the styles that I've shown you in my other videos. Wow, this does look historically accurate. It's very beautiful. It's definitely going to present some issues for you. Alright, we got a bandit raid coming from the west. Run out to meet them. See if we can get any extra help. We're gonna get these individuals right there. See where they're coming from. Okay, from the south. Put them on run mode. I'm gonna have them meet us here. I think we're gonna have to use some of the things to our advantage to cover. So we're going to pull all our guys back here. Try to use these buildings to funnel the enemy. I'm going to try to get these gents over here as fast as possible, but I don't think it's going to happen. So this is going to be an interesting little battle that we have. Oh, we might get there just in time. Perfect. Here they come. The horizon. Good to use your your community as a wall, basically. Nice. Yeah, we should do just fine now. Put them in front. We'll just layer our men this way, and we'll take them out. Perfection. Why it's important to have a robust economy so that you can... Oh, crap. Alright, let's move these guys forward. Don't want them burning anything down. We worked hard for all this stuff. There they are. Alright, cool. We're engaged. I'm gonna pull these guys back a little bit. And have them come in. Start shooting them. Shooting them with our archers. Put all the mercenaries in front of our units. Here we go. Ah, it looks like they're going to try to sneak around. That's alright. Be able to get them just fine. Hopefully they run straight down like this and we can kill a few of them. Speed this up just a tad bit. Ah, it looks like the Lord's coming out to help me too. So we got it in the bag. Alright, let's speed this up a bit. Oh, yep, they are trying to run around. I think he might actually be attacking the Lord, so that's great. I'm gonna keep this guy over here just for our own protection. Keep this up. Yep, there we go. Yep, he's engaged over there. That's nice. That's nice of him. He tries to take my town, but you know, he comes and he helps out when needed. We might lose the one unit. That was actually pretty good. Alright. Well, so much for all that, right? Back to work. Alright, 100% entertainment. Ooh, need an extra person in the granary for sure. But two, in fact. Got the oven going strong. Let's upgrade this granary to reduce spoilage. Malt house over here is up. I'm going to put one person there. I'm going to actually pull a guy out of this small house because it's just not sufficient anymore. But we got everything going. We have a lot of food. 600 veggies, 80 bread, 263 fish. We can move into honey. But you know what? I've done everything that I wanted to do in this build. So I think that this is where we're going to draw the end of the series. But this is East Grinstead. This is a common layout. It's actually pretty cool. You know, it's elongated, a very centralized area for the markets, the church, basic artisan buildings over here would have been normal, but the cobbler, the brewer, the bowyer, a couple other places if we wanted to make additional areas for a joiner's workshop. But thank you guys so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.